fireworks involved. When they go up, you would expect them to burn out before they come back down. Except in that instance right there, Austin Dillon. It landed right behind him.
And here's a replay of what happened. The fireworks from the pre-race literally landed on his backside right on the car, and it burnt the back of Austin's fire suit. I checked with him after that. He said he's fine, but again, the fire suit is discolored and burnt the back of his fire suit. So close call there for Austin Dillon. Good thing it didn't land on.
I know we joke around in NASCAR saying how lucky Austin Dillon is. A couple of his wins, or most of them, have become from luck or intentionally wrecking somebody. But my goodness, was he actually really lucky for, like, living? A firework falls on top of him as he was praying with his wife. He got so lucky, and this is one of the most bizarre things that has ever happened in a NASCAR pre-race, in my opinion.
Involving three key players, and just a moment ago, here's what's happened. A fan somehow gets out of the infield area, comes out on the track, and is trying to get Matt Kenseth's autograph.
Oh, do you think alcohol had anything at all to do with that? Oh, my God. Kenseth's going, you're not going to believe what just happened here, guys. He jumps over the guardrail, runs back up, and then gets apprehended here.
Yeah, he might get a free ride home.
Says, will you sign this? I'm like, I'm a little busy right now, buddy. He's like, come on, man, have the balls. And I'm like, come on, I'm a little busy here. And all comes trucks, cars, and everybody come running from everywhere.
Does that ever happen to you, Rusty? Anybody ever come to you?
No, that's never happened to me. That's just amazing. And they'll think about that and laugh about that for a long time.
In 2007, Matt Kenseth had one of, if not the weirdest fan experience during a race that's ever happened to any NASCAR driver. Under the red flag after the cleanup of a massive accident, a fan jumped over the guardrail, stuck his head and hand in Matt Kenseth's race car, and asked for an autograph as they're sitting there under the red flag. This is something that probably won't ever happen again, but it will forever be one of the best moments at Watkins Glen.
Halfway, Robert Huffman hit Dave Stacy coming off turn 2. David Hutto and George Crenshaw were also involved. The recent heavy rains made the grass a skating rink, and Stacy's car slid all the way to the dirt embankment, flipped over it, and amazingly landed on its wheels in Lake Lloyd. Rescue workers waited for the 29-year-old Enon, Ohio driver to clear the cobwebs before he got out. He was taken to the infield care center and released.
Debris on the racetrack, and the flames rolling out from the right side of the 7 of Alex Bowman.
You know, we've seen this before at the short tracks. The 7 had an issue with the right front tire. It looked like he melted the bead, came down pit road, got a new tire on it, but didn't clear all the old rubber, I'm assuming, off. Well, no, I disagree.
Yeah, we're going to disagree. It is not out, and the driver's climbing out of the car. That's Alex Bowman jumping out of there.
I think he was telling him to get out. At least that's what he needed to be telling.
Yeah.
And what happens
there's a fire suppression system under there that will try to help put that out.
It tries to help, but that fire is what was left of the flat tire on the right front brake rotor. These brake rotors are ridiculously warm. And what happens is after you remove the old tire and put the new one on, if there's still some strings or some cords on there, that's really just like a wick to a candle. And once it hits that hot rotor, you see what happens.
This was just a disastrous moment. The car was already on fire for Alex Bowman when he drove the 7 car, and he drove out of his pit stall, then realized, I guess, hey, the fire is not going out, stops the car, tries to put it in reverse, and nothing happens. Alex Bowman would then exit his car for safety reasons as the ambulance would arrive to help him out and put the fire out. The funniest thing is the firefighter, the fire extinguisher guy, tripped and fell when he tried to use the fire extinguisher. This was just an entire disaster moment for Alex Bowman and NASCAR's safety team. Remember, NASCAR used to only race on normally 2 road courses, Sonoma and Watkins Glen, so their safety measures on their tracks were not always the best because they didn't have to prioritize them like they do now. Now you have 6 to 7 to 8 road courses a season for the Cup Series, but back then you didn't have that. So the safety measures were basically what you would do at an oval and just kind of anticipated at a road course. But what you're about to see at the Sonoma in 1991 was something so bizarre that a car went on the side of the hill. Just watch this.
They're around Benny Parsons area in their car off course.
Looks like it could be R.K. Smith. R.K. Smith has gotten that car way up on the banking. You can see steam and smoke pouring from that car. We don't see any movement inside. One of the corner workers and the safety officials has arrived on the scene. and he will notify the ambulance and the other safety workers to come to the rescue. But as you can see, RK's car is up on an angle, and obviously he had a wild ride. Here it is.
It hits that banking and throws up a lot of dirt and a lot of grass. Fortunately, it didn't flip over for him, Bob. Even though it's sitting on the side of that bank, but it did remain on the wheels.
The yellow flag is out. We are going to have our first full course caution of the afternoon. R.K. Smith in his first Winston Cup race gets off course.
This is just something that probably will never happen again in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and it was honestly the first true rain race. I wouldn't even call this a rain race. It was a pure tsunami. In the 2019 Xfinity Series race at the Roval, rain had come in from a hurricane that was offshore of North Carolina. This made the track extremely wet with all the rain that was pouring down upon it. And the racing was honestly pretty good, but there was a lot of misfortune during the race. So many cars got caught up in accidents, spun, and even collected the race leader multiple times. We're going to show some of the best clips from this race and just how wild and wacky it truly was. Honestly, this was a race for the ages.
Gets on the gas. I don't know if it was the left rear getting on the curbing, but instantly snap spins right here coming to the start-finish line.
He was fifth when he spun right there.
Was
fifth.
Jeff, you bring it up. The stage is coming to a close. Gregson leading right now is a huge story. When the
19 cars in the wall over here in the infield. The 9 cars break off.
The leader.
The leader of the race
Gregson
just spun out.
All right, take back when I was
10's in the wall.
10 car.
Ross Chastain into the wall. His windshield wipers working. Haley right now is out front, and we know his windshield wiper doesn't work either.
And remember
really hard.
Remember what's on the plate for these guys. It's a playoff berth. They're trying to continue into this round, and now we see Harrison Burton in the 20. At this point, I would say start tiptoeing. Make sure you get to the finish. 7 more laps. Points are going to be awarded.
But he also could win this stage and get a playoff point. That would help him advance also if he gets into the next round.
Yeah, but I'm coaching him the opposite right now. The finish of this stage is the goal, Jeff. I don't want you to push because you can end up like this right here. Another car heavy in the barriers, and this may bring the caution out.
Tommy Joe Martins is stuck in the tire barriers as we see the 60.
Oh, there's a couple cars in the fence over there.
There's
another one in the wall.
Just dove into the fence.
I think they got to throw the yellow here because you got cars sitting there.
Austin Hill.
Off the racetrack.
Here's the 99 McLaughlin.
You got more cars piling into that area.
I think it's fair to say grip level's low.
Yeah. The caution has come out. You see there, Mills also in the 5.
And there's a car you don't even see in that view.
Also
in the front. Yeah, look at that. There's
the 61.
Right.
It's a disaster.
I've been doing this for a long time, been in this sport for a long time. I've never seen a situation like this. I've never could imagine being a driver where there's so much thrown at you and you have no reference of anything. This is history right here that you're watching.
There's just so much water on the racetrack right now. It's pooling up everywhere.
So what I just showed from this Sonoma clip in 1991, something I never thought we would see again. And it honestly surprised me when we saw something extremely similar to this in the 2025 Sonoma race. Ryan Blaney was already having a tough day as he was pushed out of the groove by Chase Briscoe when battling for 4th position. He was able to regain his track position, but when he was battling Chris Buescher, it all went wrong and Blaney went off the track. Not just in the dirt, he went so far off the track, he got stuck.
It has been in control out front. But really behind, oh, look at this, sideways, there goes Blaney.
Blaney's off in the dirt.
Contact with Buescher.
Into the barrier.
We're only we can.
Oh, he's high-sided this, he's stuck. Not gonna get that 12 car out of there. The 23's around out of turn 2.
Caution is out, first one for incident today. 3rd yellow of the afternoon.
The 11 of Antlin. His day continues to get worse.
I would just like to point out how mature Carson Hocevar has grown since the Truck Series. He would intentionally spin out multiple times during races in the Truck Series to bring out a caution. This is something that should be suspended in NASCAR. He was never suspended, but at least he doesn't do this in the Cup Series.
Right here is he definitely turns him sideways, and then watch it. Hocevar is going to turn left right there in the middle of the straightaway. There's no question. No question to return the favor.
It looked like, to me, there was some serious talk from some of the crew chiefs down on pit road about coming to get some tires.
Yeah.
See, he makes slight contact with the outside wall.
But then, that's up in 2.
Down in turn 3.
Oh, here comes a...
Jimmy Johnson just nowhere to go. The 43 car of Allmendinger just coming back up the racetrack right in front of him.
That is a huge hit.
So the caution apparently was for Conway into the wall.
Yeah, look at
Not sure
Allmendinger.
why Allmendinger was so far down on the racetrack.
That's brutal right there, man. That is a hard lick.
Austin Hill, Kyle Busch, and them have another set of tires.
What happened here?
Trying to, wow.
Nope, missed it.
Oh my goodness.
And that is a mess.
But thank goodness for the barrels, though, because look how much damage that truck would have had he hit the end of that concrete wall.
That was when most likely your crew chief called you to pit road really late, and you thought you could make it, but there's marbles down there and sand and grit, speedy dry, and he couldn't turn, and that thing weighs at least 400 pounds.
This was still one of the most scariest things I've ever seen at Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen has had some vicious wrecks, don't get me wrong, but this one wasn't even a wreck, and it was pure horrifying. Derek Cope was coming down the backstretch with a blown engine. His car was smoking. So what does he do? He takes the safety precautions of stopping in the bus stop. It's away from the racing surface, and it keeps him out of harm's way. And what happens? His car just explodes. Thankfully, Derek Cope was okay after this incident, but this was still one of the most bizarre things that an engine has ever done during a race.
3 wide.
And look at
Changing lane.
and it's dead. Almost got into Logano and holding up Austin Wayne's self. Meanwhile, Colby Howard in the 91 comes by.
Is he going to turn him?
They're stuck.
Damn the brakes, swerve it, bet you
They
can.
literally stuck.
They are stuck together. I've never seen that.
I don't think I've ever seen that either. Wow. They're just parked over there in turn 2 at this point.
And the caution is out.
Well,
just when you say I've seen it all, right, you see something new.
that's when the cookie sticks to the pan, and you're like, man, how'd this happen?
That's incredible. Yeah, that's like when you. It's like when you tandem draft, at Talladega. We're going there next week. You have the risk of overheating.
That is a hot mess over there. I've never seen that.
We're going to let them get it sorted out.
And something you also probably have never seen before and probably will never see again is when Juan Pablo Montoya was driving over 130 miles an hour, crashes into a jet dryer at the biggest race of the year. Juan Pablo Montoya was catching up to the back of the field after having problems with his race car. And you obviously know problems made into this crash, but his rear suspension would break as he was entering turn number 3, catching up to the field. He would slide up the banking and into the jet dryer. Thankfully, the people in the jet dryer were okay, and Montoya. But what would come after this would be horrifying. The track would catch on fire because of the fuel that was burning down the racetrack. This delayed the Daytona 500 for several hours as we had to clean up the track. This was just something crazy.
Somebody missed the turn entirely.
3 wide, 4 wide for second. Here comes Austin Cindric. Ryan Blaney sideways in front of the field.
Side by side up front, though. Chastain, he's right there. They're going side by side through the kink.
And around goes the 1. He's able to get by the 8.
Unbelievable. Sideways, though. That's going to allow Reddick to get a run on him. Lost momentum on corner exit.
A lot of dirt and debris on the tires.
Chastain went off the track. So he did that access road to get back on track. Now,
I am sure, and all the places you can race here, you were looking for a spot there at the end. What were you thinking?
What do you mean, where?
Taking the access road there and getting off course there.
Oh, just trying not to be in the carnage there in turn 1. I thought we were 4 wide and couldn't go any farther right, and just decided to take the NASCAR access lane out there.
During the 2022 Indianapolis road course race, Wild Ross Chastain made a new path for himself. He went off the track intentionally because he was quote-unquote avoiding a wreck, and in his post-race interview, he didn't even remember it. When Chastain got back on the racetrack, he was actually battling for the lead with Tyler Reddick. He battled with Reddick in these closing laps and ultimately came across the finish line in second. But it wasn't going to stand as NASCAR realized what Chastain did and disqualified his second place position, putting him last on the lead lap. Ultimately for Chastain, this move didn't work out, but it honestly was a valiant effort at trying to gain some amazing track position and a win.